Hi there, my name is Gabriel, and today we're going to be looking at a question based on the Merton model. So the question I've got here is taken from the April 2019 paper. Let's read the question without wasting any time. Now they're saying two companies A and B have each applied to a bank to borrow £10 million with a term of 10 years and an interest rate of 10% per annum. Okay, so the interest rate on the loan is 10% per annum. So in fact, let me tell you, this was a very unfair question according to my opinion. Okay, even the way they presented it on Excel, it was just I just feel like this question was so unfair and very difficult at the same time. So let's continue and read the question. So they are saying the loan will be repaid as a lump sum with a compound interest rate at the end of the term. So will be paid at this interest rate at the end of the term, which is at the end of 10 years. Okay. Now they are saying both companies are already funded by debt and equity. Okay. Remember, debt and equity, debt plus equity is the total value of the company. I discussed that during my revision session on the Merton model. Now they continue to say you may, okay, they continue to say you can assume that taking out more debt will not affect the company's share prices. Okay, so share prices won't be affected. Now, the risk-free force of interest is 6%. The bank, now this statement here is very important. If you miss it, everything will just go down so badly, because they say the bank is willing to lend only 10 million in total. Okay. And here they say data for each company is in the spreadsheet provided. Now, when you go in the spreadsheet provided, this is what you will see. So you will see data here. Now, they don't say anything about this data. You just have to check what is happening here. So we have got the share price, and we have got shares in issue to be 1 million. And we have got current debt. Also, please press and see what is happening here. Okay. See if there is any formula used. Okay, and the term of the debt, and we are given the debt interest rate. We are given other assets. Okay, just press to see if there is anything happening here, and don't make a mistake. And here, now if you press here, you see here that the total asset is the sum of other debt, of other asset and current debt. So the total asset of the company, you don't have to go again and add and do this. Okay, and so you don't have to go back and add this to the total asset. So total asset has already been done for you. It other asset plus a current debt. Okay, so just press to see what is happening here. Now, you are also given the Black-Scholes calculator. Okay, now they say you can copy and paste this calculator into your working sheet and use it if you wish. Okay, and here you are given share price, strike price, maturity, risk-free rate, volatility. Okay, let's read the first question. Now, the first question says calculate using the Merton model the implied volatility of each company's asset before any additional borrowing. Okay, so let's go to our spreadsheet and see what is happening now. They are looking for volatility, and I'm going to use this calculator here for company A and company B. Now, you will recall that the share price under the Merton model is the total asset of the company. So I'm going to write down the total asset of the company, which is 50 million here. So I'm going to go and type 50 million here. So 50, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And you'll remember now, be careful here. Under the Merton model, the strike price, okay, is the redemption value of your bond or your loan or whatever. Now, if you go and look at the question very carefully, we are actually given the price or the value of this loan here. So they've each applied to a bank to borrow 10 million. So we are given the value of this loan, but we are not given the redemption value. So in order for you to get the redemption value of this loan, you have to take this 10 million and roll it up to time 10 at 10% per annum. Okay, so please be very careful. I did discuss this in my revision video. So what am I going to have there? So now you've got to be a little bit careful here, because okay, just a moment, let me check something here. So have each applied to a bank to borrow 10 million. Now we want the volatility of each company, of each company's assets before any additional borrowing. So in this calculation, we are not considering this 10 million. Okay, so let's see what is happening there. So we are given here the current debt, okay, of the company, and the current debt is at time 0. Okay, so like I'm saying, the strike price will be the redemption value of this current debt under the Merton model, rolled up at 10%. Okay, so what am I going to have then? I'm going to have the current. Now you won't include the 10 million because the question says before any additional borrowing. Okay, so the current one is 20 million, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to roll this up at an interest rate of 10% so that I can get my redemption value at the end of 10 years. Okay, and I'm going to press enter. The maturity time is 10 years. The risk-free rate, the examiner told me, that is 6%. So I'm going to come here and substitute 6%. Now I'm just going to get a value for my volatility, which is what I'm looking for. Now, remember, you will be interested in the value of the call option here, because remember, what the shareholders of the company get can be valued as a call option. Okay, so I'm not going to talk too much about that because I did discuss it. So I'm going to go to data, what if analysis, and I'm going to goal seek. Okay, now what I want to set the value of the call option to be what the shareholders of the company are going to get, which is so if you look at your question, let me go up. If you look at your question, the share price is 25 and the shares in issue is 1 million. So the shareholders of the company are going to get 25 million. Okay, so let me do the goal seeker again. Okay, so I want to set the value of the call option to be equal to 25 million, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to change the volatility cell, which is this here, and I'm going to press OK. And you can see there is your volatility here, 23.45%. Now I have to show my examiner my calculations. So I'm going to tell my examiner for company A, these are my calculations. Okay. So I'm going to come here and copy my workings. So you're just going to do exactly what I'm doing here. And I'm going to paste them here. I go on paste special, and I also want to paste the formulas. Okay. So I'm going to press OK, and they are my workings. Okay. Now the volatility of company A on the total asset of company A is equal to this. So I'm going to say this is equal to this cell here. Okay, which is 23.5. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing for company B. Okay, and this is the information here for company B. So the share price will actually be the total value or the total assets of company B. Okay, so that is 25 million. I'm going to go and type that 123. The strike price is the redemption value of your loan. Now, we're looking for the volatility before any additional borrowing, and we are given the current debt to be 15 million. But I need the redemption value, not the current value under the Merton model. So I'm going to go and type in 15 million, 15, 123, 123. Okay. I'm going to press enter there. Maturity is 10, risk-free rate. I'm going to goal seek my volatility. I'm going to use this one here. Okay, now I'm ready to goal seek. It's the same thing I was doing for company A, but now just different share prices and strike price. So I'm going to go to data, and I'm going to go to what if analysis, and I'm going to press goal seek there. Now I want to set this cell here, which is the value of the call option, to be equal to what the shareholders of company B get, which is 5 times 1 million, which is 5 million pounds. So I'm going to have 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And I'm going to change the volatility cell, and I'm going to press OK then. Okay, and there is my value here. So I need to copy my workings and show the examiner. Now there is a lot happening here. In order for me to not get confused, I'm going to highlight this cell like this. And I'm going to do the same thing for company B. Okay, I'm going to come here and paste my workings so that the examiner can see my workings and give me marks. Okay, I'm going to copy this and come here and paste. So paste special, and you want to paste everything. You also want to paste not only your values but your formulas, and I'm going to press OK there. Okay. And I'm going to highlight this one so that I won't get confused. So what is my volatility? So I'm going to pick up this value here, which is what the examiner is looking for. So they are my volatilities. Okay, so we have done the question. So obviously this lies on your understanding of the Merton model. Remember, in this paper you must be very, very quick, and you must be very good with your theory. And that means that you must go to exams revision with Gabriel and listen to me very carefully, because I do explain these kinds of things in details. Okay, so let's look at the second part of the question. So if we come here now, they are saying, now let me check time here, so 15 minutes. Now they are saying calculate the probability that company A will be able to repay the loan if it receives the full 10 million pounds loan. Now, this was a very confusing question. Now, remember, under the Merton model, the probability that the company defaults is 1 minus phi of D2, which means if they do not default, that means they'll be able to repay the loan with probability 1 minus bracket 1 minus phi of D2. So in actual fact, the probability that they will repay the loan is phi of D2. Okay, and please note that this was an extremely confusing because the examiner said you can assume that taking out more debt will not affect the company's share prices. So don't be worried now. Don't be worried now that there are additional there's an additional debt now. Does that mean the volatility of the company will change? No, it will remain the same because the examiner said this here. Okay, let's go and look for our probability. So do you agree with me that I'm looking for phi of D2 for company A? So let us go and see what is happening here. Oh gosh, what am I doing here? So let me come here. So what do I have here? Now, the share prices of the company. Now, you must be very careful. For company A, we have got total asset of 50 million. So I'm going to say 50, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But the total asset now, the company has been given a 10 million loan. Okay, which means I need to add this 10 million to the total assets of the company. Okay, so please be careful there. So 10, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because now the total asset, oh gosh, I was supposed to press equal to there. Sorry. So I'm going to have a 50, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is the total asset, but they've been given, the bank gave them an additional 10 million. So the total assets now will change. So 10, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And the new total assets of the company will be 60 million. Okay. Now, your strike price, which is the redemption value of your debt now, will be the current debt, which is 20 million. Okay, so I'm going to type that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, plus the additional 10 million they are getting. Okay, but this is the redemption value of my debt. Okay, so I need to roll this up to time 10. I'm going to press equal to there. And my volatility, you have to remember your volatility was, if you remember, was 23.45, okay, percent. I'm going to come here and type 23.45. Now you can see here that the value of the call option is quite close to 25 million. Okay, that because additional borrowing doesn't affect what the shareholders of the company will get. Okay, so don't worry about this 24 and say now, oh, it's not exactly 25 million, which is what it closed. Okay, so don't worry and use the assumption the examiner gave you. So I'm going to, okay, so this is part 2 of the question. I'm looking for the probability that company A is able to repay the loan. So remember, I discussed with you that that is actually phi of D2. So it is actually equal to this value here. So I need this value, but I need to show the examiner my workings. So this is company A. So let me go and copy that. Okay. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to come here and paste. Okay. So you want to paste everything there, even your formulas. Okay, and there are your workings. Now you are looking for the probability that company A is able to repay the loan, which is phi of D2. Okay, so I'm picking up this value here. And there is your probability you have given your examiner. Now, if you look at the third part of the question, you will see that now they are saying calculate the probability that company B will be able to repay the loan if it receives the full 10 million pounds. So do you agree with me that it is exactly the same thing? It's just that now I'm doing it for company B. So I won't explain a thing here, I'll just throw in values. So my share price will be 25 million. So I'm going to remove this and put 25 million. And I'm going to add the 10 million. So it's the same thing I was doing for company A. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And there I am going to have 15, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 plus 10, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now my volatility will be what I calculated here, which is 9.65. Okay. So I'm going to have there 9.65. Okay. Sorry if I'm boring you. Something is wrong here because if you look very carefully, okay, let me check something here. So total asset will be 25 million plus the additional 10 million. Okay. And the strike price will be 15 million plus the additional 10 million. Everything seems fine to me. Now, don't worry at this value here. You know that the value of the call option must be what? Must be the value of the call option must be close to 5 million, which is what the shareholders of the company will get. Okay. But the examiner said that you may assume that taking out more debt will not affect companies' share prices. So I've got a feeling I typed something wrong here. So let me check one more time. I'm very sorry if I'm boring you, but this is the nature of Excel. Very boring. So I'm going to have 25 million plus 10 million. The strike price will be 15 million plus 10 million. Okay, everything is right here. Okay, so I'm going to copy this here. So I'm going to say copy, and I'm going to come to part 3 of the question, and I'm going to paste my workings so that I can show the examiner I know what I am doing. Okay. Now the probability that they will be able to pay, the question is, the loan is what? Will just be phi of d2, which is this value here. So I'm going to pick up that value and I'm going to get 0.4180. Okay. So there is my answer, the 0.4180. Okay. Now let's go and read. Now they continue to say that the bank, remember at the beginning there they said the bank is willing to lend only 10 million. That is extremely important. You will see later why it is extremely important. Now, they're saying the bank is considering lending 5 million to each company. So 5 million to company A and 5 million to company B. Now they say calculate the probability that both companies will be able to repay their respective loan. Okay, now you need a little bit of probability theory here. Now I'm going to assume here that these companies are independent. Okay, and if these two companies are independent, then the probability that both companies will be able to repay their respective loans will be the probability that company A will be able to repay its loan times the probability that company B will be able to repay its loan. Okay, so this was a very, very difficult question. So now, if you go there, so if company A gets the additional 5 million, I'm going to calculate the probability that they are able to repay the loan. If company B gets the additional 5 million, I'm going to calculate the probability that they are able to repay the loan. Now, the question is asking you the probability that both companies will be able to repay their loan. So that will be the product of each of them being able to pay the loan. So company A pay the loan and company B pays the loan. So that is a multiplication. Okay, so what am I going to do here? I'm going to come here now. They are getting an additional 5 million. Okay, I'm going to come here and now I'm looking at company A. So the share price will be 50, 123, 123 plus the additional debt, which is 5 million, 123, 123. Okay, and the strike price, which is the redemption value of the bond, will be current debt 123, 123 plus the additional 5 million. Sorry, they will be receiving. So I'm going to have 5, 123, 123. Okay, and I'm going to press equal to there. And my volatility for company A was 23.45. Okay, I'm just avoiding taking the rounded off value. So 23.45. I'm going to come here and type this. Now you can see the probability here that company A will be able to repay the loan if it receives an additional 5 million. So I'm going to copy my workings so that I can show the examiner that I know what I'm doing. I'm going to copy this and come and paste it here. So I'm going to say these are the calculations for company A. So Oh gosh, it seems like the copying didn't happen. Let me check the time of this video. This video is already long. But anyways, it seems like the copying didn't happen. I'm going to copy this. Okay. And come here and paste my workings. I want to paste the formulas and there. So the probability that the company will be able to repay the loan if it received 5 million is just phi of E2. I'm going to pick up that value there. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing for company B. So let me highlight this so that I won't confuse my workings. I'm going to do the same thing for company B. I'm going to come here and say my share price will now be 25 million plus. Okay. I'm going to press enter and I'm going to say my strike price will be, I'm very sorry if I'm boring you. Okay. My strike price will be 15. 123 plus what? 5 million. 123. Okay. Now I need to change my volatility to 9.65. Okay. Because now I'm doing company B. I'm going to have 9.65. Okay. So this will be the probability that company B will be able to repay the loan. I'm going to copy my workings. There I am copying. And come and paste them here so that I can show the examiner my workings. So I'm going to press formulas and I'm going to press enter. Okay. Now I'm going to highlight this in green so that I can see that this is a separate working. So my probability, so I'm going to pick up this value here. So the probability that company A and company B are able to repay the loan will just be the product of these two, not the word and the assumption that they are independent. Okay, I'm going to have this multiplied by this value here. Okay, and there I'm going to get 0.2972. Okay, a very, very, very difficult question. Okay, now they are saying explain using further calculations. Okay, where appropriate, why the bank might want to split its lending equally between company A and company B. So why it might want to split its lending equally between company A and company B, despite a lower probability of all the money being repaid. Now, please make sure, I don't know, but if you're going to print this paper when you're writing your exam, highlight this because it is extremely important. The bank is willing to lend only 10 million pounds. So now if you go, oh gosh, sorry. If you go in your answer sheet for part V of the question, this is what you will see. Now, the probability of receiving, remember, they are willing to borrow 10 million in total. So the probability that they receive 10 million back if they give A is the one we calculated earlier. So I'm going to go and pick up that value, okay, in part 1 of the question. So I'm going to pick up this value, going to come here. Now I need to correct this here, this V, because I picked this value in tab 2. So I'm going to come here and put 2. Okay, I'm going to come and put 2 here so that it can pick the correct value from tab 2, the one I highlighted. So I'm going to press enter. Okay, now what is the probability that it received the 10 million back if it gives a B the 10 million? Okay, so what is going to happen there? Remember, I did calculate that probability in part 3 of the question. So I need to go and pick up that value. Okay, I'm going to go and pick up this value here. Okay, now I picked this up in tab 3, so I'm going to remove this and put 3 here, tab 3. I'm going to press enter. Now remember, the company is willing to lend only 10 million. So in the case of split lending, okay, so in the case of split lending, that means company A will get 5 million and company B will get 5 million, which means the probability that they receive 10 million if they split lending is the probability I calculated here. Okay, it is equivalent to the probability I calculated here. So I'm going to pick up that value. So I'm picking up this value here, and I picked this in tab IV. So I'm going to put that there. Okay. Now, this was the probability that they received the 10 million back. Now the probability that they receive the 5 million back. Now you've got to be a little bit careful here, because remember, they are willing to lend at 10 million. So what is the probability that they receive 10 million? Now this will actually be equal to, if you think about this, the probability that they receive their 10 million is the probability that they receive, sorry, the probability that they receive 5 million. In this case, we are looking at, oh gosh, what am I doing here? In this case, we are looking at the probability that they receive 5 million back. So this will be equal to, now, if they lend, okay, so now, gosh, this was a very difficult question. I'm running out of words here, but what I'm actually trying to say is the probability that they receive 5 million will be, they have to get 5 million from one of the companies, with one defaulting to pay. Okay, that is the only way they'll get this 5 million. So either they get it from A with B defaulting, and they get it from B with A defaulting. Okay, so notice the word "or," which means addition. So if they get it from A, what will be the probability then? So it is this value. Do you agree? So if they get the probability that they get 5 million from A is this value here. So I'm going to come and pick up this value here, but I picked this in IV. Now I'm going to multiply. Now I want them to receive 5 million, which means a B must default. So A must pay the 5 million and B must default. So if B is going to default, I'm going to have 1 minus the probability that B is able to pay back. I'm going to put IV here. Or another situation we could have is B being able to pay the 5 million back, okay, which is this here. So this is I, and A defaulting. Okay, so I'm going to have 1 minus the probability that A will default, the probability that A will pay. So I need to change this. Okay, so in case of split lending, the probability that they receive 5 million is the probability that they receive 5 million from A and B default, or they receive it from B and A default, which is this case here. So I'm going to press enter there. Okay, now the probability that they receive nothing will just be 1 minus that they receive something in each case. So I'm going to have 1 minus oh gosh, so I'm going to have 1, in actual fact, I'm going to have 1 minus the sum of this here and I'm going to copy this formula across, and then my answer. So let me see if it's working properly. Yes. So what will be your comment? Now you can see here, I didn't want to waste time. You can see here I've already written the comment. When we split the lending, there is a lower chance of the whole 10 million being repaid. Okay, as you can see here, very low probability. But a significant chance of at least 5 million being repaid. As you can see here, the probability, there is a significant chance. Now, and a much more smaller chance of losing all our money than if we lent it all to one company, okay, which is what is happening here. So if you have been studying, you will know that this shows diversification of risk. Okay, I think this question was very, to be honest, according to my opinion, I think this question was very unfair. But anyway, you were given this question, so there is nothing. But I think it was an unfair question and a very difficult one for a lot of things to think about when you are under pressure and you have to complete this paper and we are given 1.5 hours, and we have still got other questions. Okay, I hope you will be fine on the exam day. I wish you all the best with your preparation. Bye-bye.